my review of Jojo's Bizarre Adventure Stardust Crusaders episode 27, the Oingo and Boingo episode. Well, I gotta be honest here, they're not as good as Endul, but at least they make up for it for their humor and chemistry. And there was a lot of humor in this week's episode. So the episode begins with Boingo stand Thoth creating another prediction. In this one, Jotaro, Joseph, and Polnareff were drinking poisoned black tea. Once they reach their destination, Oingo declares that they will win, they're unstoppable, unbeatable, because they're the Oingo and Boingo brothers. Yeah, no. Considering what happens in this episode, no. Boingo stand Thoth is named after the Egyptian god of knowledge. So far we knew that the stand is a manga that can predict the future, but it can only predict the near future. And its predictions can be vague sometimes, but Thoth's predictions are 100% absolute, so they will come true no matter what. Now, Oingo's stand, Khnum, it's named after the Egyptian god of creation, and his stand is his face. I'm not kidding, it's his face. Khnum is basically a disguise type stand where Oingo can mold and transform his face into anything he wants. He can even alter his height, weight, and his scent, which is an interesting stand. The thing is, I've already seen it done better with Yellow Temperance. So, forgive me if I find Khnum probably one of the more underwhelming stands that I've seen so far. Anyway, the brothers make it to the cafe that Jotaro and the others will have the black tea and knock out the cafe owner so that Oingo can disguise him. And when I mean knock out, I mean hit him in the head so hard with a frying pan that there was blood and it seems like he was dead. Was there really need to kill the guy? Meanwhile, Jotaro and the others decide to take a break at a nearby cafe, to which Polnareff chooses by flicking a cigarette. The cafe that the cigarette points is where they will be heading, and coincidentally it points to the cafe that the Oingo and Boingo brothers were there. Now they do order the black tea, but Joseph came up with a good idea. Since they're in Egypt, they're in enemy territory, which means that the chance for their food and drinks to be poisoned is very high, so they decided to order some cola. But after a series of events, which consists of warm cola, a cafe across the street that Jotaro and the others decided to go to, but they can't because the cafe caught on fire because an idiot forgot to put out his cigarettes in the trash. I wonder who that can be. I'm looking at you, Polnareff. So after that, they decided to order the black tea instead, which the tea did enter their mouths, but they spat it out because Iggy bursts into the cafe and eats a woman's cake. Because this causes Jotaro, Joseph, and Polnareff to chase after Iggy. If you think about it, Iggy unintentionally saved their lives, so yay, good job, Iggy! Well, unfortunately for Oingo and Boingo, they did fail. However, Thoth did say that they did drink the tea, even though technically they didn't swallow it, so I guess it was kind of true. But Oingo was so pissed that he decides to punch this one guy just because he's pissed off at how he looks. But a new prediction came up on Thoth. The group was driving to the hospital to visit Abdul and Kakyoin, who were still injured after the previous episode. Oingo was supposed to plant this bomb that looks like an orange into the car, and Jotaro gets his face split in half because of the bomb. And so they get to work on their plan. The problem is, though, Polnareff and Joseph came early to the car, so Oingo had no choice but to transform into Jotaro. Oh my god, this was hilarious. I mean, it's not just the fact that he looks like him, well at least his face does, but it's the fact that he's still wearing his same goddamn outfit. He even changed his hair into Jotaro's hat, which honestly was kind of stupid because the hat was too big. I really thought that Joseph and Polnareff wasn't gonna fall for it. I mean, Polnareff is one thing, but not Joseph, right? So throughout this episode, I was thinking that they decided to play along and screw with Oingo, just so that they could have some fun. That's what I was thinking, because I swear to God, if they really did buy Oingo as Jotaro, no, just no, because Oingo sucks at acting like Jotaro. I mean, he makes Robert Soul look like an Academy Award-winning actor, and that guy stopped trying after he got his wallet stolen. So Oingo lied to them saying that his clothes were in the cleaners, and he came back to get his wallet. So they force Oingo into the car so that they can drive to the hospital to visit Abdul and Kakyoin. And throughout the entire trip, they were screwing at Oingo so bad. First, there was the cigarette trick where he was supposed to put 5 cigarettes into his mouth using his tongue, and they were all lit. And this was something that Jotaro was supposed to do, which I don't know if he can really do it, but I'm gonna assume yeah. Rubber Soul did the whole leo thing with the cherry, and Kakyoin did the same thing too, so I'm gonna assume that Jotaro can also do the cigarette trick. So Oingo actually did succeed at first, but then Polnareff tells him that he has to drink orange juice without soaking the cigarettes, and he fails at it. And then we get Polnareff saying that the way you put your hands together, depending on which way your thumb goes, depicts whether you were a male or a female in a past life. But anyone that's even more hilarious is the fact that, and just seeing him making all these facial expressions that Jotaro would never make, and even the way he was speaking was even funnier. Now, Oingo did throw away the orange bomb, but unfortunately for him, Iggy caught it and brought it back into the car, which, oh my god. Oingo was starting to have this like really bad stomach ache, so he decided to like make an excuse saying that his stomach hurts, and he decides to like get out of the car by crawling to the front over Polnareff, spazzing out of the front window. But then we get this like intense moment, which I thought for a minute there they decided to not screw around and attack Oingo. But no, the reason why they stopped him was so that Polnareff can give him toilet paper. God fucking damn it. So yeah, Oingo runs away, and it seems that he was safe because he can just transform back to his old self behind the rock. And Polnareff decides to throw out the orange because he thought that it fell into a gutter and it was probably dirty or something, which rolls towards Oingo and it gets stepped on by him, to which he yells out, "Oh shit!" And then boom, explosion, and his face gets split in two. It was censored, but still split in two, and that was it from Oingo. Now, Boingo was trying to catch up to Oingo, to which he finds him and decides to get revenge for his older brother. Which Oingo was so moved because his brother was so shy, but he was willing to kill Jotaro and the others just for him, even if he was on his own. Moved him to tears. But the moment gets ruined by the guy that was punched by Oingo returning, bringing backup consisting of these big guys, to which they beat the ever-living shit out of Oingo and Boingo. Anyway, Joseph and Polnareff make it to the hospital. They see Jotaro there, the real one, and they act like the real Jotaro was with them the whole time. They see Oingo and Boingo in the ambulance, and they were beaten up pretty badly. I think that's gonna be the last we'll see of them. So 3 down, 6 more stand users to go. Polnareff and Joseph notice the clothes, and so Jotaro asks them, "Oh, do you know this guy?" And Polnareff was like, "Nah, of course not." And the episode ends right there. Oh god. This was a hilarious episode. Overall, very funny. I really enjoyed it. Animation and artwork was very good, especially with the images that they used on Thaw. I know that was exactly how it looked in the manga, and honestly, I was getting used to the strange artwork. Makoto Kumai voiced Boingo, who was well known for Lee from Cardcaptor Sakura, and Tako, aka Tyson from Beyblade. And we have Makoto Yasumura, who voiced Oingo. He's also voiced various supporting roles, which includes Ryuhei and Hayato from School Rumble, and A from the Parasite anime. And of course, I have to give kudos to Daisuke Ono for voicing Jotaro, because he did a very good job at it, and he did make me laugh for Jotaro acting completely out of character. Now, the ending was very surprising because I was expecting Last Train Home, but we actually get a new song, a new ending featuring Motoko Kumai and Makoto Yasumura as Oingo and Boingo singing this new song. And you know what? The ending was very nice. It was actually kind of fun, more upbeat. I really did like it. I thought it was a nice ending. Now, the preview for next week's episode shows Polnareff and his stand Silver Cherry gang to another fight. So we're getting another Polnareff episode, which yay, I like Polnareff, so it's great. But what really surprised me is that this episode is going to feature Anubis. I don't know what the stand Anubis is, but just hearing the name Anubis alone got me like hyped, because the stand Anubis has to be freaking awesome, so I have high hopes for this episode. Not only that, but it also features a man holding a sword, so I'm assuming that's a stand user. And I think the sword might be connected to Anubis in a way. Maybe the sword's the stand? Yeah, I'm calling it now. Anubis is a sword stand. Calling it right now. So yeah, overall this episode was freaking hilarious. So I definitely recommend it if you're into humor, and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure definitely does a good job with its humor. Although there was a part of me that thought that I was actually watching filler, but I know this is not filler. So if you want to check out the episode yourself, it's out on Crunchyroll, so I'll leave a link in the description down below. And tell me guys, what are your thoughts on this week's episode of Stardust Crusaders? Did you like it? Did you hate it? What were your thoughts on Oingo and Boingo? I thought these characters were very funny, but as a threat, they weren't a threat. Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like the video if you like it and subscribe to more videos, and be sure to check out my Facebook fan page and Google+. So yeah, that is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stardust Crusaders episode 27. I'm Lunar Response 27, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.